I am Luther King Abia Akebe, Associate Professor of Applied and Environmental Microbiology at the University of KwaZulu-Natal. About myself, I was born in Douala, Cameroon. That's in the littoral province of Cameroon. My father had always told me, you will be a doctor. And I never understood why I had to be a doctor, But when I went over to my village and I witnessed a scene that was like unbearable, a woman gave birth in our house, and my grandmother was the only woman that was there to take care of her and everything. No nurse, no doctor and everything. And then it occurred to me why my dad said I had to be a doctor. But it happened that one assignment that was given to me in class changed the whole story. We were supposed to prepare an assignment on environmentally transmitted infections. So we had to look at what are the diseases that are in the environment that can be transferred to humans. And when I did that assignment and I was the one to present in my group, that is when it happened to me that, look, you might not have become a medical doctor, but you can still become a doctor. If you prevent people from getting the infections from the environment, because I realize that a lot of the infections that we get actually come from the environment. So if you can prevent those infections, or if you can understand those infections in the environment, then you will prevent them from getting to people. We live in a place where we interact with our environment like on daily basis. In some places, like the environment is the only thing that we have as a brother or a sister. So that was the key question that actually stimulated. How do these organisms survive in that environment? How do they behave in that environment? And what are those things that trigger them to come into humans, or how do they get into humans? And when they get into humans, then how do they cause the infection? So before the introduction of the One Health approach, medical microbiologists had been working on their side, environmental microbiologists had been working on their end, while veterinary microbiologists had been working on their side, and trying to work in individual sectors without bringing the three sectors together was providing an apparent solution, because solving it in human means that it is ending in humans, but it will still live from the environment or the animals back to humans. I would like you to just picture something. Just imagine you going to this village or this rural area, and you stand somewhere and you see a group, like a herd of cattle crossing a river. But downstream, you see people swimming or kids swimming. And a little bit further, you see women washing clothes. Now, that picture says something. There we have three components. We have humans, the kids that are swimming. We have the women that are washing their clothes and probably taking their bath. We have the water itself, that's the environmental component. And then we have the cattle, that is the animal component. So my work now looks at that combination between the environment, that is that water, the cattle, the animal, and those humans that you see in that water. What is that link between them? How do microorganisms move from one sector to the other one? The environment, unlike humans and animals, is a very complex setting. In the environment, you have a mixture of those human infection-causing agents, you have environmental bacteria, and you have just this whole mixture. Now, because the matrix is very complex, identifying the organism of interest is a very big challenge. I have been able now to take a process that was getting up to 5 days, for example, to complete that in 2 days, and at times in a day. Because with the real-time PCR machine that I'm using now, specifically the Quant-Studio 5, I am able to multiplex a lot of systems, a lot of my reactions. It's true, it's not the sequencing technique, it's not the whole genome sequencing, it's not the next generation sequencing, but it gives me just what I need for my work at that stage. So I think what I want is, within the next 50 years, we should have people not only that think of the environment, but that have that global picture, that know what is the implication of humans or the implication of animals on the environment and how the environment interacts with those ones. So we will have people that think more on a global way or in a general way, rather than just thinking in their sectors. If I wasn't a scientist, I would be a science communicator. If I am a science communicator, then I'm able to carry that science that doesn't reach that person in the street. I will be able to carry that science to that person. And although I am a scientist, I am doing a little bit of science communication as well, and trying to translate my science into a language which the common person understands.